taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
I love that last
there before it all starts. So one of these days, as we get more comfortable, we'll just have to put our screens small while during the intro, because I think y'all would have a good laugh.
Yeah, man. But maybe we'll just do a remix and just extend the countdown into the show and just have a dance party, you know?
Totally. I'm not going to do it if we don't have some members live, though. So, you know, like our audience,
Right.
y'all got to show up, and we're just going to do it. We're going to do a streaming dance party. Speaking of dance party and working out, you'll have to excuse me. I'm the Irish American here who's all red faced because I was working out leading up to this. So what are you going to do?
Bro, that's great, man. You're moving, you're exercising, man. That's wonderful.
Trying to stay healthy. I'll be sipping down the water here.
Cool, brother. Well, you know, we got a couple of really exciting things to talk about.
Yes.
Today, y'all, on Live with Diamonds and Music, episode 13, lucky number 13. Today's Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. You know, we briefly mentioned the School of Van Cleef and Arpels last week, just kind of in the context of jewelry history and the rich history of metallurgy and you know.
I want to give them a quick sample, Pasquale, before, if anybody, because sometimes people tune in the beginning and come back later. We see that. We're also going to talk about an incredible partner and friend of ours, Vibrant Payments, that is a payment processor. So if you have a business, if anyone in your family has a business, this is the episode to watch. There's definitely some serious business value for here. So stay tuned or come back.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, let's connect ourselves to last week first. Sorry for the bold interruption, but I want to plant the seed.
No worries. So, yeah. And it's, you know, it's good to share resources, because so many family businesses and businesses period just kind of take for granted that they can actually get a better deal on their credit card processing. So yeah, so let's go ahead and
look at that, the caliber of graphic design and art.
So I was you know, I signed up for you briefly mentioned last week about this school. It's a jewelry school, guys. If you know, totally geeking out here, but you know, I'm just fascinated with the world of jewelry making and the people that have kind of reached the pinnacle, the best people in that world. And so Van Cleef and Arpels, which is a jewelry house from Paris originally, they're a worldwide brand now. I think they're part of the Richemont consortium. But the point is that they've opened up an online and in-person school, a jewelry school, and they have books now available. I'm just taking the deep dive. And so today I attended a webinar just right before our show here, and it was basically all about, you know, engraved jewels. So for example, cameos and intaglios, like basically any stone that's engraved on it. And so to give you a little historical context, these pieces that we're going to briefly see in the slideshow are 16th century kind of inspirations that were inspired from the antiquities. So as you know, during the Renaissance, a lot of you know, Roman and Greek mythological themes and motifs were brought back, and we see that in the artwork and the jewelry and the architecture and so on and so forth. So it was an insanely, like, I was surprised at how clear the video was of these pieces. So these are just screenshots, so pardon the quality, but I just kind of wanted to go over a few of the pieces. And so the series is called Discover, Wonder, and Learn, and I'll put up in a minute the website. It's just
I love that little piece that's right on there. I can't not say it. That fairy that has, like, my God, do you think those are diamonds on the wings?
those are definitely diamonds and rubies. And so the curator of basically it's a private collection. It's a
Wow.
this guy named Guy Laudriere, and so the curator was named Philippe, and he's from the Louvre, but he was doing this expo for Van Cleef and Arpels, the school, L'École Van Cleef. So
it's a school that just the examples come from the Louvre Museum. That's all.
So here's the next one's about diamonds, which is going to be really cool. I'm going to share this information, guys. It's just fascinating. So here's I'm going to kind of go in reverse chronological order. So this is this is I believe it's Jupiter, who is later became known as Zeus, and this is Saturn's son. So you see the detail on the cameo, like, just an incredible work, you guys. This is like all hand done. The second piece is Alexander the Great, who was depicted as I think it's Amon, Amon, which is the kind of Egyptian version of the father of the gods, which the word amen actually comes from that. So this is Alexander the Great. You see the work? It looks like a stone sculpture. A lot of these pieces are like 2-3 centimeters high. Like, they're tiny. These are pieces of jewelry, often rings and brooches, and but like the amount of detail for the tools that they had available, to them, is absolutely incredible, guys. So
that is incredible. You can see in that piece in particular of Alexander how they're using some of the natural, I don't know how to call it, grain and contours of the stone. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you only can use you have to work with the material at hand, and so the stone kind of dictates, as I found out with Ramon Byrne, with the larger size musical instruments that he does. This was later on the Byzantine period. It was so you imagine all these courts, the court jewelers and the court artisans that were commissioned by the particular kings and queens of the different areas of Europe, of Spain and France, and Lombardy. As you know, Italy was not unified until 1862, I believe, and so you have just a bunch of small kingdoms, and so this is just a small sample of some of the work, guys. This is Hercules. I want to kind of zoom in on this. Look at the detail on his beard. Like, someone literally took whatever tools they use. They're kind of like dentist tools, and hand carved this stuff, guys. I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I kind of just wanted to share the webinar that I attended, and I was just inspired by it. These are the two gentlemen that were walking around the museum. You can see the little screen thing. So they were kind of just explaining each piece and so forth. And the I think look at this. So this is actually and so, like, the whole idea of, and there's books also. Like, I encourage anyone who's remotely interested in art or art history or jewelry history to check out some of these courses and books. And yesterday I looked on the website, and they have a series of books that explain different genres of jewelry making, and one of them was I think it was called like Men's Rings, and it was a collection of like 6,000 men's rings from antiquity all the way up to the Renaissance. And so a lot of these families, these noble families, would use their family crest or the middle section of the ring to kind of stamp, if they're sending a letter to the sending a message to a different region or whatever, and sending their messenger out. The envelope was sealed with this wax, and the wax imprint. And this goes back to, before Roman times. And so, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So that's a ring for someone's seal. That is A beautiful ring, my God.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like speeding through
Quality of
everything,
that
guys, but
gold.
I just kind of want to like emphasize the idea of like just bringing back the classics, like what we're going to do with the collabs at Diamonds and
Mhm.
Music with the music collection with Ramon Byrne, and I was actually had a great conversation with Ramon
Mm.
yesterday, the stone sculptor. We talked for about an hour, and he kind of wanted to find out more about the process of making these pieces of jewelry and stuff, because he works in larger scale, obviously. But
Yeah.
and I kind of like was mentioning to him that I wanted to realize some of these pieces, like the Jimi Hendrix guitar piece in that's going to be the first piece in metals, but also like in stone, and be open to going back to this sort of technique. I just have to find, it's a matter of working with the right people, guys,
Yeah.
and so this is
It's
definitely, for me, a learning experience as far as like getting out of the box, and just doing a lot of cool stuff. So I wanted to share this. I will post the link to the um, I think it's called L'École van Cleef Arpels. Pardon my terrible French, guys, but
that was pretty good.
thank you.
At least for for to my ears as an American. But yeah, I think it's just all about craftsmanship too, and that legacy and the history of craftsmanship and the art of jewelry. And people, like, I just love how passionate you are about all of this and pour yourself in. Some few people might be interested as well, but I think a lot of people, it's like, wow, they're, other local jeweler or the guy at the shopping mall in the jewelry store probably isn't educating themselves like this, to be blunt about it. I mean, maybe they are, I don't know, but I'm proud that you're my friend and partner, and you're so passionate about all this, and that we're sharing this.
It's really just it's fascinating, brother, like to because like I'm always like a big advocate of learning what came before me in order to
Mm.
do. It's like learning the rules before you break them, type of idea, and so this is the website that I shared, L'École van Cleef Arpels, which is just the School of Van Cleef and Arpels, which is this online. It's a blended school, guys. It's in person. You can go to Paris if you're going on vacation to Paris. Take a class. I'm certainly going to dive into physical classes next year, but there's also a lot of online courses as well as materials to study, like books and so forth. So I just wanted to share with you the homepage there. It's right here on the screen, L'École Van Cleef and Arpels. So
Cool. Yeah, and keep bringing it to us. I mean, there'll be an audience, and I might take a class at some point. But I think as you keep, taking, this was just a few minutes for you to
yeah.
share a class and to like learn. Let's keep being a resource for all that knowledge and information and history.
Yeah, I'm going to share. There's an event coming up here at the Bowers Museum, which is in Santa Ana. It's right here in Southern California, and they're doing an event that's sponsored by this school, the Van Cleef and Arpels School. So like, it's just amazing, to know that these guys are not hiding all their secrets, so to speak. They
Yeah,
are,
they're
like,
accessible.
and it's kind of indicative of their whole philosophy and DNA of the brand.
Mm.
It's just absolutely amazing, guys. So just wanted to share. Let me stop my screen, and I'll hand it over to you, Bill.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of high quality, we're all about high quality and sharing. I think that's our episode is, to share. We'll get to some pieces too, and maybe a little bit of shopping um, as well. It's always fun to shop together a little bit, but I think everybody knows, they can shop themselves as well. So on the Diamonds and Music site, if when anyone makes a transaction and you don't know on the back end, our merchant services partner is a startup that's with a friend of mine and ours now, both of ours, Stephen Morton, who founded Vibrant Payments. So let's just do a little screen share here so you can get an idea. This is the the homepage of their site, their logo. I'm a very visual person, so I always like that. Thank you, Pasquale, for the nice site on the bottom. So you're like, well, what's this? This is not very exciting at all, but it's about value, right? And about business value. And there's a lot, just like the jewelry world and sort of, elite jewelry world that Von, Pels is a part of, that it's about sharing information. And if you own a business or where you work, perhaps, and you want to get a win at work, it's worth a conversation. If you know somebody in your family or in your life or a friend that owns a business, and any of those places or businesses take credit cards, an enormous amount of businesses pay 3% or 2% on their transactions. And Stephen at Vibrant Payments, who we'll have another episode with, can get that down from 1% to 0% rates. It's just kind of incredible what he does and how much he's disrupting the industry. And, he's got everything that any other payment processor has. He actually came up, and we can talk about Stephen about this, but just to establish a little bit, he is in Washington State, where I am, but the far eastern edge near Spokane, Washington. Some people have heard of Gonzaga University is there, which has a nationally famous basketball team that won the national championship a couple of years ago. And it's also the home of Bing Crosby, the singer. And just east of there is Liberty Lake, Washington, where Stephen's based, but it's right on the Idaho border. And people, if you like tech, the tech industry and a little bit of tech history, Boise, Idaho is actually where PayPal was developed and came from. And one of the original 3 partners of PayPal was Elon Musk. That was where he had one of his first really big successes that bankrolled a lot of what else he's done. He also had some money to put into that business and came from it. And then the kind of current owner who bought out his partners, Peter Thiel, is very famous and has a reputation for being an aggressive businessman and building his empire. And then the third partner is Bruce, and I'll let Stephen talk to that about that. But Stephen worked with Bruce for a long time in the payment processing, digital revolution of payment processing, and has been in the industry for a long time, saw kind of what has gone on. And it's in Stephen's words, it's a pretty horrible industry. A lot of businesses, large, medium, and small, get kind of raked over the coals through a number of middlemen and a lot of fees and a fee structure that they don't really understand.
Right.
And they're paying more than they need to on their hard-earned business. I mean, at Angelucci Jewelry, at Diamonds and Music, at anybody's business, when you're shopping and we earn your business, when anyone works hard and earns a customer's business, and then for the convenience of taking a credit card, you might be paying 3% on your transaction. Well, most people chalk that up. Whatever.
Well,
it's
from the perspective of a business owner, like, pardon the interruption, but most people, I would argue to say, just kind of think, oh, this is the cost of doing business. I don't have time or even want to compare. It's literally just like, send us, your statements, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. And guys, like, my folks had a jewelry store for 30 plus years. Not once did they ever think about getting a lower rate. I mean, we're talking about potentially thousands of dollars in savings.
That's it. It all adds up.
What's in it for me? Saving a lot of money. That's period. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to get those statements from businesses, show them the side by side, and a smaller business that's doing $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Suddenly in a year, you can save them like $8,000 to $10,000 in a year, because it adds up. Well, that doesn't sound like, to any small business, if you tell them that you have a fixed cost that you just assume, like you said, well, that's just the cost of doing business. It's not that much on every transaction. Yeah, it's a bit, but it's a smaller percentage of my monthly revenue. We'll add it up over a year. And if I can put $10,000 back into your business, imagine, what you can do with that right now. And that's a small business. That was my the local dry cleaner is someone that has good, steady business. It scales from there. You get into much larger. I mean, if you work at a corporation, we do corporations that do business to business transactions in the outdoor world, or, Stephen works with several hospitals and medical industry world. And I mean, you're starting to talk literally about savings that are $50,000 to $100,000 annually, right? Or more. I mean, the numbers get, it scales because it's percentages. And, if you're paying at 2 to 3%, you're not very sophisticated. So this is what happens to a lot of people. And I don't know if I can zoom in on that. I guess what I could do to make it a little more legible is I could zoom my screen a little bit. That's a bit of what I like to call an eye chart. Like,
can you make that a little bit bigger, brother? I know there's
yeah. Let's keep
flat
going.
Rate
and I'll share this. Yeah, for sure. Why don't we just make it really big? And so a lot of people, a lot of businesses and or people that have a side hustle, they're at like Stripe. That's flat rate pricing. Everyone's heard of Stripe and of Square. Stripe and Square, for most customers, have you this little, I'll call it a dark brown line, is right under 3%. They're at 2.99%. And then you pay 2.99% of any and all transactions. And what's this blue down here? Okay, so what am I paying of? These are all different types of cards. This is what you don't see, or if you're a fairly sophisticated business or you have someone in finance, they know that this is what's called, all of this kind of blue static is actually, it's moving, is called the interchange. Interchange is the wholesale actual price of the credit card. And down here at the bottom, at under 0.5% to 0%, are like a really good example is an ATM check card. Every time anyone uses an ATM check card, it's at like 0%, basically. It's the same as cash in the finance world. I'll get back to that in a minute. And those vendors and gas stations and mini marts that are forced to, or that charge you for using your ATM card, wow, they're getting scammed. That's a sign of a scam. You probably always knew that. You always wondered about it. I'll explain why. Now, way up over here is your expensive rewards cards. So this is those big travel rewards cards. I have one of them and love those. Or a luxury, what's called a luxury card, like everyone knows the name of the Black card, the Amex Black card, but all major, Capital One and every major, MasterCard, they all have their version now of a high-end luxury card. But most transactions fall somewhere in here, right? And when you use a ATM check card, of any kind that's cash, this is the profit that Stripe or Square are making.
Got it.
This is their profit.
So the credit card processing company, whoever they are, makes the profit is in between the cost of their wholesale cost and then the price they're paying you. So that's sometimes upwards of 2 to 2.5, almost 3%.
Yep. And you get scammed at those shops because, and I try to talk to those shops all the time that say, well, if you use your ATM fee, you gotta your card, you gotta pay a little fee, right? If you use your ATM card, you gotta pay a little fee. Well, because they're locked in at 2.99%, no matter what card is being used. Right. And so they're getting soaked for this profit with whoever their merchant services provider is. That's what Vibrant Payments is a merchant services provider. Now, next tier, so we're like, okay,
how great this is. You're giving insight that is never, this is the most transparent, like this is great. I mean, this is an opportunity, and we're talking to you jewelers, wholesaler and jewelry, retail guys, like, it's time to cut the fat. This is a great opportunity, guys, just to listen and learn.
Yeah. And if you're at a bigger business or more sophisticated, you might have tiered pricing. So basically, if you consider each step of this staircase looking line like buckets. You could imagine that this part of the line is bucket 1, this is bucket 2, and the rest is bucket 3. And basically what they'll do is they'll tier or put all of your transactions into a bucket. So those ATM cards, we'll have them down here at 1 point, that's probably 1.65, right? And then this is their profit. And then, these mid-tier cards will do some more that are at 2.75, but then we'll bump you up for anything expensive and a whole lot more of them. You see this line is a lot longer, right, or wider in this chart. We'll have you at like 3.75. We say, oh, we get you this tiered pricing, but you can imagine how those profits add up over time. So Vibrant Payments offers what they call cost plus pricing, and this is their line. They follow the interchange. That's why it goes up and down. This is moving. These rates change. It's connected to the financial market. Like this is not very accurate, but it's an example, maybe a metaphor that's easier for people to get a hold of, because in a way it's tied to the stock market, to the big indexes, and to interest rates in general. So the opportunity to potentially keep almost everything at right around 1%, or follow the interchange. The line with Vibrant Payments of 1% can extend much further over in terms of the payments is a huge, significant savings for people. And particularly, I'll just say lastly, why are we talking about this? We were talking about it this week because I'm going to JCK, and this is a big part of the business. I'm there for technology solutions. I'm e-commerce, digital marketing, and payment processing. These technology solutions coming to the jewelry, luxury goods. There's high-end luxury jewelry, but it's all retail across all of that. And like I said earlier, applicable to any business that's taking credit cards. So there's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's huge what you're talking about. And again, I would venture to say that probably the vast majority, if not even 40-50% of the wholesalers and retailers, and there's literally thousands of them, guys. I work with, and I'm a small fry, 12 to 15 vendors. And, this opportunity to just take a look, we're not saying, hey, switch over. Well, I've been with my company for 50 years. Well, That's fine. Let's just take a look. And, we're all about a consultative approach, and our partnership with Steven and Vibrant Payments is a valuable one. We use it ourselves, and we're saving concrete dollars each and every single month, guys. And so it literally just takes checking out the doing a side-by-side comparison of what you have, your credit card statements, and what we can do. And if you can, if what you have is great, then fine. We're still friends, and that's okay. But it's worth it.
Black and white.
What could you do with an extra $10K a year? Digital marketing, hire whatever, social media. Like there's savings are always a good thing. And people say, oh well, it's going to be really inconvenient. I have this system. Well, we can integrate with most systems. So Vibrant Payment is, we're able to, like, in some cases, transition with just a phone call or just digitally online to switch it from a previous credit card processor to our system. So it's
and the other concern a lot of people have is security, right? They're like, well, what's this new company? I've never heard of who you're talking about. Are they small? Is that why they're doing this? Vibrant Payments is partnered with the largest payment processors, probably bigger than who you or a lot of your businesses or even where you work might be using. So Card Connect is our technology, is the technology partner, which is owned by Fiserv. I think at the bottom they talk about their contractual partners, right? They're registered and contracted with Card Connect as well as Elevon. We're a little bit smaller. Card Connect is owned by Fiserv. Fiserv they're one of the biggest financial services companies in the world. I mean, you can look them up. They're publicly traded. They bought Card Connect.
Hey, bud, you're frozen. Oh, Bill actually froze there, guys. Hopefully he can come back. But let me continue. Hopefully Bill will be joining us soon. Technology is great when it works. So let's see if we can add him back in here. Ta-da, ta-da. Nope. Guys, I want to thank you guys for being with us today. Let me just put up on the screen the two websites that we have. So Angelucci Jewelry is my main sort of squeeze here. I've been doing this for 30 years, family business, 4 generations. I'm going to be on vacation in Italy starting in a few weeks. So I'm going to be broadcasting from there. It's really exciting, guys. I'm going to be, I just bought a drone. And so I'm going to be taking a lot of footage of my mom's hometown, Atina, and just kind of like telling my story. Because, you know, people can buy things, products, and services really anywhere, right? So why the heck should I buy from you? You know, it's all about presenting a story. So it's a story of excellence. It's a story of survival. It's a story of, you know, my parents coming over to this country in 1969. It's great. So every family has their unique story. And I was lucky enough to take over the family business in 2010. And I renamed it our family name, Angelucci. But, you know, please check out the website and also Diamonds in Music. So reach out to Bill and I, or either of us, and we will be happy to be in service to you, which means whatever questions you have about jewelry, whether it's appraisals or, you know, repairs or custom pieces, or you want to, you know, reuse and repurpose some old jewelry that you had from one of your family members, your mom or dad or grandpa, we can help you out. So thank you so much for joining us today, guys. This is the 13th edition of Live with Diamonds in Music. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grazie mille. We say in Italian, you know, piano piano se va lontano, which kind of translates to, you know, take things slow and you're going to go very, very far. So it's always a pleasure. Have a lovely rest of the week, everyone, and have a great day. This is Pasquale Angelucci signing out.